Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about game tables. And specifically, we're going to dive into and talk about the table I have sitting right here in front of me, the Cassidy Table from Game Theory Tables. I'm going to talk about what they've done for my gaming experience, why I think you really should eventually get your hands on one, and my overall impressions and thoughts on this table here in front of me. What I think it's good for, some of the complaints I have, and whether or not you, the audience, should look into ordering one. Now, before we swing into this, I do want to make sure that I fully acknowledge that Game Theory Tables did send me this table to review, play on, and do some footage of. Along with that, they have a incentive program with me and a few other content creators. So if you do end up ordering this table, right now they're giving a discount to our audience. Link will be down below. I believe it's something like $850 off because they're doing a group buy, which is a large bulk order, an opportunity for them to mass produce a collection, kind of like you do on Kickstarter or some other pre-order system, and get those shipped out, I believe, over the next few months. You'd be able to get this table into your hands quickly. But along with that, me and the other content creators who have access to and who are covering the previews or prototypes of this table, I believe, receive some degree of percentage off of your purchase. So if you want to support us, if you want to get a good deal on a quality table, there's a few good reasons to click the link down below and take a look. If you've been looking for a gaming table, I will do my best to display why this one might be right and might be not right for you and your gaming group. So, with that out of the way, with that being said, let's talk about gaming tables as a whole, my experience with them, and why I think they really do improve a gamer's experience or a gamer's interaction with their hobby if you get the right table. So, for me, I always grew up playing on the kitchen or dining room table, meaning the games had to be wiped down, cleared off if you wanted to sit down with your family and eat, or there was other bustling things happening, computers moving to and fro, sports items and books being spread all around, and so you're always constantly dealing with a shuffle of people and a movement of individuals. A gaming table gives you a home to play on. When I started Quackalope, I transitioned to a high-quality folding card table, which is nice, but is still taking up a degree of space. It doesn't allow you to cover up and save the game, and you have the same problem that you need to clear things off constantly to make sure you always have a playing surface. From there, I ended up getting another gaming table, and I gotta be honest, I absolutely have enjoyed utilizing it, but from my perspective, it was a little bit large for the space that I had it in. It wasn't great for filming in front of, and so I've used it as my living quarters kind of gaming table for the better part of 6 months or so. It has been great to have, but it's big. It is a aggressive dining table size table, and I absolutely have appreciated and enjoyed the space that it gave me. I've spent a lot of evenings playing games on it, but if you don't have 4 people sitting around the table, it's kind of hard to reach across. It's a little deep in the pockets. It could save an entire Tainted Grail campaign underneath, kind of swallowing it whole. And for some people, that would be the perfect size. If you're mostly playing Kingdom Death or Tainted Grail, this little Cassidy table probably won't be the thing that you're looking for. But for me, for a 2-player or 3-player head-to-head session, for a 5-player game of Wingspan like I have set up in front of me, or Root, or any of your sort of family-style games, Spirit Island fits on this, remarkably well, I found that the Cassidy table has been what I've been gravitating to. Board game tables open up not only a dedicated space for you to enjoy your hobby, they're usually, and the ones that I'm covering are quality made, heavy-duty wood. They're sturdy, they don't bend when you lean on them, and you can actually invest in playing and sitting around a comfortable space with your group of friends. They encourage you to design an environment around them. Like, I have our walls of bookshelves and the lamps I have setting up behind me. Now, granted, the environment right now is set up a bit for filming, as I just stare into the bright lights of an LED. Let me refocus on the camera here. But it really does encourage a space to be designed around your hobby, something dedicated to your space. And along with that, one of the things that I'm going to try to show a little bit later is going to be the fact that this table opens up. So we have a inlaid location with 8 different cup holders, recesses to keep some of your minis and cards and tokens, and a playing space here in the center, which, if you're playing a 2-player, maybe legacy-style game with your family, this would be the perfect way to save a game, sit down, have a meal, gather around the table, or play another game directly on top of it. Across the last weekend, we've had this table set up in my living space, and we have a filming studio upstairs. We have another giant board game table right behind this camera that I'm filming. We have a dining room table over in the corner. We have a lot of places to eat, sit, work, and play games. And consistently, over the course of this last weekend, the Cassidy Table has been where I've gravitated to every single time. It's nice, it's clean, I'm able to sit next to people without bumping shoulders or being in their way. It's a comfortable place to sit and play two-player games. You can sit across from each other without being too far apart. It really has been a delight to have in our environment. Along with that, the fact that it covers and uncovers gives a lot of opportunity for those late-night party games or when you want to put something away. I really find it very comfortable to sit at, and the depth on the inside isn't so deep that my legs brush up against the bottom of the table. It's something that really irks me. I'm able to sit, kind of stretch my feet out. The pedestal doesn't block it. I have nothing jamming and making it less comfortable to sit and engage with this item. My parents had a dining room table at one point that was lovely, except it had a big T-shape across the middle, which meant that you could never stretch out. You could never just be comfortable sitting at the table, especially on the bar stool chairs that they had. So that's the Cassidy Table, or that's board game tables in general. Let's get a little bit more in specifics of this table. What do I think it's perfect for? What is my first impressions of this? Well, I think that if you're a 3 to 5 person household and you're a little bit more tight on space, this table could very easily be a window side table, could replace your dining table, could be a kind of book side table in your living room, and it would give you a space to experience and enjoy gaming without removing any of the convenience of a small round table provides. You don't have to introduce a full dining table into your space. This 100% will present you with that option. Along with that, I find this really, really comfortable to be at, especially with 2 and 3 players. Everything fits nicely. It's a little bit tight on the corners sometimes, depending on the game you're pulling out, but genuinely, any normal family-sized game I could imagine playing, I could find a way to comfortably fit here. Even ones that take up a lot of space with their board, I gently push that board to the top area, and then me and my opponent, my partner, would sit here at these bottom corners, allowing the angles to give us as much comfortable space as possible. I really like the layout, the design, and just the atmosphere that this table provides. I've already mentioned the inlays with the legs and the fact that I like the pedestal support system way more than almost any other pillared support that I've seen or experienced. The Cassidy Table really is a lovely little dive into gaming tables and accessories or items that are made for them. I could see this as a fantastic starter table or a fantastic in-the-home table that, again, doesn't replace what you already have, the infrastructure that you already have, gives you an opportunity to be comfortable and to have an environment to play games at. Along with that, the 8 cup holders down here on the bottom and the inlay is very nice. While I wouldn't encourage you to set this heavy-duty wooden table topper on top of any minis that are close to that drawing line, I do think it can store most average-sized minis. I'd have to double-check on a few of them. We'll have some footage of the minis that it can store and closing it up. But for me, being able to save a little legacy game, like My City, for instance, would be a fantastic one that you could just have living underneath the curtain. Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion would be another one that you could always have ready to go for you and your partner, and then this becomes the workspace, the living environment. This becomes the area that you're playing games, and every now and then, on date night or evenings, you lift this topper off, pull it to the side, and sit down and have a good, relaxing game. What are some of the criticisms? What are some of the things that you should be warned of or aware of before you get this table? Well, first off, it is heavy duty. Now, the assembly was actually remarkably easy. Just a few bolts here and there, and everything pieces together very nice. But this table really takes a bit of an effort to lift the topper off. It is full solid wood, and Shira isn't able to pull it off. If you have any back issues or you struggle with getting things off of the table, this requires a lot of focus and a decent amount of concentration to pick up. I can't comfortably slide this to the side to show you what's underneath. Along with that, in my version of this table, and I don't know if it's a prototype version or not, the underside of some of the elements, like the legs, for instance, were not quite as refined as I would have liked them to be. The wash that's placed over top of all of this and the glaze is really, really nice. So everything that's revealed that you can see is super high quality. But the corners, the recesses, the part that, always stays on the ground, while I understand it's common in, production quality things to have those areas, the unseen areas, not be quite as important as the others, I would have liked a little bit more refinement there. And I have to be honest, I was a little skeptical when I first got the boxes in. Now that I have the table set up, I don't even notice those parts and they don't bug me. But if I had to move the table, break it down again, flip it, or if I was just first receiving it, it would be something that would strike me as a little bothersome, that there wasn't as much refinement as I would have appreciated. Along with that, this gloss, this glaze on the top, I find that it's held up very well with the white table. Alex over at Board Game Co. has a copy of the black table, and there are a bit more scuffs and scratches and evidence of the table being lived with and lived in over there. Outside of that, the only other thing that I'd really put on your radar would be the fact that the suede mat does require a bit of upkeep and care if you want to keep it looking fresh and nice. Suede is a fantastic property to play and utilize cards on and play board games on, but it does tend to collect hair and dust and lint, so you'll want a cleaning solution or sort of a dry brush solution to make sure that your gaming table stays as nice as it can be. Outside of that, the team over at Game Theory Tables have been fantastic to work with. I'm super excited for everyone that is going to get a copy of this table. Let me know. I think it is absolutely remarkable. It is a beautiful piece of work. Oh, and something that I really should have mentioned at the very beginning of this video, we have a special Quackalope yellow that they were willing to make for this table, and I believe they're going to have that available to a select number of backers. And so I'll have a link in the description down below. If you wanted to order a Quackalope yellow version of this table, you should be able to do that as a custom, one group purchase type of thing. So let me see if I can show you exactly what the underside of this table looks like. Now, it is incredibly heavy, so I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to. So the two handholds are over here. Honestly, I'm not that tall. I find them a little bit too far away for me to get my hands on. So as I slide this over, you're going to see that the table has a beautiful yellow area with a Quackalope logo on there, a suede mat here in the center. It's probably recessed maybe half an inch on the inside, and that lip goes around the outside. And then we have these brass cup holders as well with areas to store and play our game. And this is, like I said, remarkably heavy. So I'm going to squeeze it back on to the table here, get a little bit of B-roll and footage to share with you to show everything that's happening. And let me know, does this look like the table for you, the perfect one to fit into your studio? What are your thoughts? Do you have any questions? I'd be happy to answer any in the comment section down below. Whatever the case, thank you for being here. Whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you next time. Thank you.